Hello, this is Ann Tucker, and I'm here today interviewing Sue Pruyn, Parent Path Founder, about self-care. How are you doing, Sue?
Good. Yeah, I'm excited to do this.
Good. So let's get started talking about nurturing and
Okay.
how do you take the time to nurture yourself? And what does that even mean to you when I say, how does Sue nurture Sue? What does that mean, and what does that look like?
Yeah. So it changes all the time depending on my interests or, like, I guess even my schedule based on the time of year and my kids and all that stuff. So, like, more recently I've been able to go to yoga classes and spend more time doing meditation and things like that because I've had more alone time because my kids are in school right now. So that's been really and I also have teenagers. Since I have teenagers now, I can actually go out for a walk, things like that, without having to be concerned for a babysitter. So I have more flexibility at this time in my life than I had when my kids were younger. So that makes it. I have found that to make a big difference for me to have more time for myself for self-care. And so these days, like I said, it looks more like going to a yoga class. And I even more recently set up my own kind of yoga spot in my house so that I have a place to go to that's all mine. And that felt really good to do. So, and then, like I said, spending some time doing meditations and that kind of ebbs and flows as well. I mean, more recently I find myself doing 15-minute kind of recorded meditations because it just kind of walks me through it and it brings me to a kind of nice calm place. Other times I've just sat in silence. So it just kind of depends on what I need in the moment.
Great.
So I kind of ebb and flow with it depending on what I need in the moment, what my schedule looks like, my availability of time, that kind of thing.
Very good. I love that you have your own yoga meditation spot in your house.
Yeah.
It sounds like, you're the second person who brought that up during these conversations. There's one other Path founder who has her own special meditation spot in her house, kind of like a sacred space where this is where she goes for her time. Tell me a little bit about what your spot looks like, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all. I'm still building it, but I have I have all kinds of things I've collected over the years that feel good to me. So I really love essential oils, so I have all those there ready to go, so I could use whichever one I feel inclined to use. I have some candles. I have these silk scarves that match the colors of the chakras. Actually, there's 10 of them because it extends even past that, and they're just beautiful and they feel good. So, and they're huge. So, like, depending on which color feels good, I'll use one of those. I even have a drum. I have like tuning forks. I have all kinds of funky stuff. So, just depending on, what feels right in the moment. All my fun things that I've collected over the years from different, interests that I've had that I've collected. I have them right there. So I'll just use those and it's fun too because my kids love it. So of course they want to, like, oh, what's this? They want to go in there and explore, and they love to spend some time in there too. So it's kind of a double bonus, And it feels good for them to do that too. It doesn't feel like, oh, they're invading my space. I love that they want to be in there. It's kind of cool. So
I love that. I love the idea that you've collected things that are meaningful to you.
Yeah.
And that you like, that you can go back to. It makes me, I don't have a special place in my house. I haven't created that for myself yet, but I'm really inspired to do that now that we're talking. I'm envisioning like is it like you almost have a little altar or just a collection of things? Well,
that's what's so fun is I have kind of like a tall piece of furniture with like doors on it, glass doors. So I could see the things that I have collected in there.
Right.
But I do want to get a small altar-ish kind of piece of furniture that I could place things on that would be right there and easily, I don't know, like if I'm at floor level, like if I'm doing yoga or something, that they would be right there rather than kind of put away. So I do want to, and that's the fun part is just kind of continuing to create it, like if I see a piece while I'm out that's inspiring, I'll grab it and kind of add it to my collection. So yeah, and then, I mean, it just feels so good because it's my, I don't know, it's what
all
feels
your
good for me.
Stuff
Yeah.
that you love.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And
what I had this vision of when you were telling me about your colored chakra scarves?
Yeah.
Because I know, because Sue and I are friends, personal friends, besides our work together, but Sue loves scarves, so she comes to my house a lot, and she likes to wrap up in a scarf. And I just envisioned you. I had a vision of you picking out whatever color scarf you needed that day and kind of wrapping yourself in the scarf and praying or meditating or doing whatever you needed to do. Is that how you use them, or you just kind of hang out with them?
I do use them down there. I'll even, lay one down and then use another one on top of me. I used to wear them out. I haven't as much lately, but right now I'm using them more like that. And I remember just an interesting, fun story when I first got them, just kind of having them all out together on the floor. My son Tommy would just like swim in them. He loved them. He would just like, just kind of just laying in all the colors in the silk, and he still loves them. But, it was just when he was younger, he loved to do that. So they have lots of memories, lots of good memories. Yeah.
Good. So going back, what I wanted to ask you about this, and I'm in the same position you are where my children are school age now, so I naturally have several hours a day where they don't need me and I'm on my own, so it's easy for me to build in time for myself as opposed to when they were toddlers and preschoolers and infants. So how could you counsel someone, or what would you say to a mom who had, say, a 2-year-old at home and would need a shorter amount of time for her self-care? Do you have any, and I'm thinking of this too, and I'm trying to jog. I don't think I did that when my kids were toddlers, which is why I wound up on a heap on the floor crying a lot.
Yeah.
But can you think of like a quick 5-minute self-care activity that a mom of an infant or a toddler could use in a moment when she knows she needs it? And I'll think about one too. I mean, I'm thinking of even when they're napping, just kind of going into a closet in the dark and
that's a good one.
Deep breaths,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Can you think of anything else?
Yeah, no, I love that one. I think I'm interested in what works for them. Like if they love essential oils or whatever it is their thing. To just have that be their quick go-to. So, but the dark closet, I love that idea. I also love nature. So
nature's
just
good
walking
too.
barefoot out in the grass has done huge things for me. And people may think I'm crazy, but in the winter I've even walked barefoot in the snow because it literally will ground you instantly. It just brings you right back to yourself. So barefoot outside is huge for me. So that's a quick thing.
No, there is something. There is a huge amount of truth, and I don't understand why. But my son with autism, any weather of the year, he will go outside barefoot on the grass, and I know it makes him feel better just to kind of ground his energy and throw stuff off. But I think that's a perfect thing for a mom of a young kid. Can even take the child out with her and just walk barefoot for a few minutes and get herself back to center. Yeah,
and I want to add to that real quick that I have such a place in my heart for moms with younger kids and their need for respite. It's huge, and I think that I'm just putting a call out that we need more and more respite people just come into people's, rescue really to respite for their families because the younger years you need that. But I know that one thing, I had family support fortunately, and one thing that really saved my husband and I was every Saturday night we had date night. And sometimes we wouldn't talk to each other. It didn't even matter. It was just knowing we had that time. It would get me through the week, Right. Huge. No,
Sue, I love that you
help.
said that. My mom, when my children were really young, my mom would come every Saturday night to take care of the boys.
Yeah.
And we were so tired, my husband and I, we'd be home by 9 o'clock because I knew I had to go to bed, but I would look forward to just not being in my house, just physically not being in my house.
Yeah,
so
and to come home knowing they're already in
thing.
Right, and to come home knowing they're already in bed and you're just coming home to just relax and go to it really is a huge help.
Okay. Sue, thank you so much. I think our time's about up.
Oh, okay. That was fast.
It's been great talking with you.
You too.
Thanks so much. We'll chat soon, okay?
Okay.
Take
all right.
care,
Thanks.
Sue.
Bye.
Bye-bye.